Welcome back to the Triple Option here on 365 Sports. Paul Catalina, Chris Allman alongside today. His second go in the chair.
That's right, veteran.
Yeah. Now, I might replace you for a day next week with a friend of yours, Steven Simcox, if he's available.
That would be a dramatic upgrade.
I mean, we'll see. Steven's got big shoes to fill.
One of the more intelligent, wiser, and funnier people I know. The two of you guys together.
So,
gold.
We've not gotten down to scheduling brass tacks with him, but I might have to do that today. So
okay.
He's got like 7 kids now. All of a sudden, it just kind of happened for him really fast.
He also has a job, and he might need to ask his boss for the time off.
That's true. That's right.
And that boss is me.
Okay.
And he's more than welcome to come on over.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is our getting to know you segment, our question segment.
Yeah.
I have opened it up to you to ask me questions because I feel maybe it's not fair.
Okay.
That you've gotten grilled. You just following up on you and your brother are there's some tension that's been created.
There might be some disrepair in my family when I mentioned that I would save Jose Altuve in a fire over Craig Biggio and my brother. So what I did there was I strengthened my relationship with my 20-year-old nephew Parker, who's a diehard Astros fan.
Yes.
What we did was create some real emotional distance between the two of us and my brother, who believes Craig Biggio is still Mr. Astro.
Well, he is Mr. Astro.
But he doesn't have 2 World Series rings. No. I guess he does, but they gave them to him just to be nice. Jose Altuve has 2 World Series rings that he earned. Yeah. An MVP and 5 batting titles.
Yes.
So my family will be okay. We got a few months till Christmas. We'll be good.
And I had to use him on the Immaculate Grid today because it was a tough, Houston Astro with a 300 career batting average.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot more people than just Jose Altuve.
Sure.
But I don't know what career batting average is. Like, some people, I looked up after it, and I was like, this guy's got to have a 300 career batting average, 294. And you're like, oh, well, shouldn't have played when you're 45 years old, man.
I haven't done the grid today. The one that got me the other day was that Matt Cain or Tim Lincecum never won 20 games. That stumped me.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a giant 20-game winner.
Here's what gets me. Anything that has to do with the Diamondbacks that's not the 2001 team.
Yes. Every Diamondback, I'm like, they play in 01? Is it Kurt Schilling? Is Kurt Schilling the answer to this one?
Occasionally I'll think of somebody like Kareem Garcia. And I'm like, oh, good. That's someone. I know this basically, like, that's how. There can't be a college football Immaculate Grid yet, but there will be because of the transfer portal.
For sure.
One day we'll get the college football Immaculate Grid. It might be coaches just now.
Sure.
So you'd have to really know assistant coaches and coaching trees.
And whereas like Brad Hand is the answer for every square on baseball, it's just going to be JT Daniel. Yeah. You're just going to be able to put JT Daniel in every single square.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I use Waco product Zach Duke quite a bit.
Okay, yeah. Zach Duke.
He fits a lot. Okay, so questions today.
Okay.
I'll ask you some of the ones we asked Royden.
Okay.
This is the glasses segment.
Yeah. You got to put the glasses on.
This is the glasses segment. Makes me look really erudite and smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Greatest football movie of all time.
Yeah, this was a really good question yesterday. And I don't know Royden, but he seems to know his stuff. But The Program.
Oh, see, yes.
1993 classic. I know Garrett's on board with me here.
Absolutely, The Program.
Garrett, are we close to the same age?
I'm 38. I don't know how old
I'm
you
45. Okay.
We're there. We're close to it.
So we all can appreciate The Program. You probably were a little young watching it.
Yeah.
Maybe no rules at your house.
None whatsoever.
But The Program was just the perfect early 90s football movie.
Yeah.
And so, Friday Night Lights, my problem with that movie is the inaccuracies are too glaring to me. So, yeah, I think it's a fine movie, but to me, The Program is the best football movie of all time.
Yeah, I think I like ones that are either not cartoon. It's not cartoonish, like it is. I mean, they did have to take that scene out where they were laying down in traffic.
Yeah, because people were really doing it.
That was a big controversy in the 90s.
Yeah,
because nobody thought like, oh, this is not something we should do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, The Program's great. James Caan.
Yeah.
Omar Epps, Halle Berry.
Yeah. Can't go wrong there.
Craig Schaefer at probably 33 years old.
He looked 33.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like.
But he was an alcoholic in the movie, so maybe that like played in like you want your guy who drinks too much to look a little rough.
Good point. Well, that was a Murderer's Row cast of like 90s young talent and then just really good-looking 90s women. Christy Swanson was in it.
Yeah.
It's a solid. I hadn't even thought about that. I was just thinking about it from the football perspective.
So the guy, the famous character in that movie is Latimer.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome. So in anticipation, because I'm a big superhero nerd,
Okay.
in anticipation of The Flash this summer, went back and watched both Michael Keaton Batman movies.
Yeah.
He plays Christopher Walken's son in Batman Returns, that same actor. And
Holy cow.
I hadn't watched it in a long time. And I didn't realize it that he was doing, when I was a kid, I didn't realize that he was doing a walk-in the whole time. Dad, come on, let's go. That movie. But it wasn't bad. It was not a bad walk-in.
The Latimer character also kind of ruined my understanding of steroids. Like, you don't take steroids right before the game and become awesome. That's not the way steroids work. But in that movie, he's like shooting up in the bathroom and then he goes out and becomes awesome. And I was like, oh, well, should I ever decide to do steroids? This is how it works. Later on, I discovered it's not at all how it works.
No, and don't do steroids.
And don't do steroids. Yeah, that was the other thing I learned.
Okay. All right. I may not know the answer to this with you, but I think I do. Because we've known each other for a very long time.
Very long time.
Almost 20 years now.
Yeah 2005.
5.
Okay, I was going to say 4.
Yeah, 2004 or 5. Yeah, something like that.
And we go
yeah.
way back.
Yeah. Okay. What is a food or drink that everyone else likes, but you don't get?
Wow. Okay, I feel like I'm going to have to hand over my native Texan card. I like barbecue, but dude who like is fluent in barbecue, I don't get it. I mean, I like it, but that's the most common like food I think that people make and eat that I'm like, it's meat.
You're not looking at bark.
No.
You're not,
I can't tell you the difference between, I know they like lean and moist taste different, but I'm like, I don't care. Just whatever kind of meat you want to give me.
If it's good, it's good. You're fine.
What's yours?
Mine, I'm coffee. Like I'm coffee. I don't drink coffee. Like I don't like it. I understand other people do.
Yeah.
I do not understand the depths that people go to enjoying coffee. And I had to work in a coffee shop at one point in my life, in a bookstore I was working at, and it was a really hard thing for me because people will come up to you and ask you, what does this taste like? And I'll be like, look, man, it's peppermint mocha. It tastes like
Peppermint and mocha.
and whatever mocha is.
Okay.
And, like when I had to do the training for that, like the coffee lady from Borders Books did not get me at all. We did not.
You didn't jive?
We did not jive.
There wasn't instant chemistry?
She's making me taste the stuff, and I'm just like, oh.
Okay,
So yeah, coffee is that way to me. I'm not going to rag anybody, but like it does, like with the depths that people go to barbecue, I do enjoy that a little bit. I'll go to places, I'm not going to maybe get too into the weeds, but I will say my father-in-law works for a company Martin's Barbecue in Nashville. And when I was there at Christmas, he took me back, and I was like talking to the guys, like cooking a whole pig at once on the smoker, and I was just covered in smoke and like talking to these guys, like, oh wow, so you guys just saw that sucker in half?
Yeah,
huh?
wow,
wow.
It's really fascinating.
How long? Like, well, I just put this one on an hour ago, so 8:00 tonight he'll be done. And I'm like, it is 11:30.
Yeah, my first experience was my brother-in-law was like smoking meat, and he kept checking on its status on his phone.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, he's like, this has been cooking for 14 hours. I was like, I don't want to do anything for 14 hours. Mm-hmm. And so along those lines, I don't drink. Mm-hmm. So people that are like beer fanatics or
also me.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
All beer tastes bad to me.
Yeah.
So I don't get that one.
Yeah.
I might revise my answer and actually, I didn't know we can count drinks. Yeah. So let me say beer and whiskey.
Yeah. Whiskey. I'm a very big whiskey aficionado and stuff.
Okay.
Jack and I have that in common. We do. I'm trying to bring him up in the ways of.
Is that why Jack just rolled in?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Look, Jack knows how to party. Let's know. Jack, I'm sure had important things to do. Okay. Which college football player do you wish had infinite eligibility?
Okay. So really, genuinely, anytime I answer a question about a player, it's really going to be about just the pure enjoyment I had in watching them. And so I might say Dat Wynn from Texas A&M. Just the whole Dat Wynn story, the size. That was a phase in my life. I mentioned having Aggie family. Mm-hmm. So those wrecking crew teams from the 80s and 90s, and I know Dat was early to mid 90s. Mm-hmm. but I might say
He
Dat
was
Win.
the soul of the Wrecking Crew. He was what you're really, yes.
Yeah. Now, if he can just do one play over and over, I'd say Quentin Coriat for the guy he killed against TCU.
Oh, yeah.
That I'd say Quentin Coriat. But then from just a non sentimental perspective, man, Reggie Bush was a lot of fun to watch play.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? Can I guess? Is it a Knoll?
No. It is Nagy.
Okay, so it's not Chris Winkie.
No, like if you asked me which Knoll, I would say Peter Warwick.
I was going to say Peter Warwick.
Peter Warwick.
Give me the era on the Aggie.
Oh, very recently.
Johnny Manziel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had more fun watching his games.
Okay.
Because it was just, man, it was jazz.
Yeah,
like
no.
It was, and that's the thing about Reggie Bush, Barry Sanders, Johnny Manziel, guys like that, where it's like, skeep up, like that's how they played. That's how they played.
That's jazz.
Yeah. And to some people that looks good, some people it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like I remember asking someone one time, because I'm not a fan of jazz in particular. Like I appreciate certain artists.
Right.
But sometimes you'll hear it and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. And then there's a guy in the background with like the hat that's like curled up, the fedora that curls up.
Yeah.
And he's got sunglasses that he wears like this. And
his name is like Sticks or something.
Yeah, and he's just, and he gets it.
Sure.
Like when you see one of those guys, you just enjoy it. That's what it is. It is.
Yes.
And they're kind of making it up as they go. Those are the guys I like. That's what Peter Warwick was. I mean, you stop on a dime, like watch everybody run past you.
Yeah.
And then take off.
I think Peter Warwick will be, especially as we get further away from his era, he is criminally underrated. Yeah. I think
it's because of NFL, like the NFL hurts guys like Peter Warwick.
Yeah.
He didn't do well in the NFL. He's probably playing in the wrong era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just those kind of things. It just didn't work out for him. And that's the case for most people.
Yeah.
That go to the NFL.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out the same way for everybody. But
from that same era, Michael Vick was a heck of a lot of fun. I'm sure he struck fear into you in that national championship game.
I was at that game.
Yeah.
And from the second quarter on, I vividly remember it. Because that's when I sobered up. I was in New Orleans all day long. Okay. Then had to go to that game. So
why is this game starting in the second quarter? What's going on?
I was almost 20 years old. And in New Orleans, I don't know about now. I mean, because now when I go, I don't need to be carded.
Sure.
But no, that was the first place I ever went where no one asked me for an ID.
Yeah, I don't think Law and Order when I think New Orleans.
No, but I remember walked that day, like sitting down. We went to eat lunch, and I sat down at this restaurant, and I ordered. They're like, well, what do you have to drink? I was like, I'll have a Coke. And he's like, with what? And I was like, what? He's like, come on. And so I just ordered it, just waiting for him to come and check my ID, and it never happened. And then you could see the look, like the people with me, like, oh, it's on. It's on.
You just kept doing this.
And you walk down the street, and somebody's like, would you like a hurricane for $4? You're like, I have $4. Here. Yeah. Woo. So
I bet watching Michael Vick play when you're slightly inebriated is a real experience.
Oh, it was. And so Peter Warwick, like Michael Vick took over that game in the third quarter, and then Peter Warwick took it over at the end. Very famously scoring the winning touchdown. Went to Coach Batten and go, "Do you want to win this game? Throw me the ball." And so he got on the thing and told Mark Richt, "It's like, hey, get Warwick the ball." He said he's going to score, and they're like, "Okay."
I wish I could be that confident about something.
I know I can't.
God, I can't do that.
Yeah, I really do. But yeah, so like those guys those are the ones that are most like Bo Jackson to me. Like he was more just pure athleticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like when God decided he was going to make like certain people more athletic, that might have been some of his best work.
Yeah, for sure.
Like as far as, okay, this guy can literally do anything you throw at him physically.
Yeah. There's a lot of, some of these opinions are formed by not really like having watched them live, but you'll watch old tapes or you'll watch a 30 for 30. Like Marcus Dupree, like I'm sure Smokey would have some really good insight into Marcus Dupree running the ball. Herschel Walker, guys from the 80s like that. I mean, even in an era when the ball wasn't thrown all over the field, Tim Brown, when he was at Notre Dame, was an absolute dude. Mm-hmm. And so, and then, I mean, Vince Young and Robert Griffin III both, like, Vince, I know he did a lot more than just that 06 Rose Bowl, but That in itself was
that whole
amazing.
season.
Yeah.
The second half against Oklahoma State, where they were dead to rights, and then the plan was like, what play we're going to run? We're going to run Vince.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, what do you got? I've got Vince.
Yeah, okay. Right or left? Vince right, Vince left.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Vince do something is the play.
Yeah.
We're just going to pull off the throttle and see what happens.
Yeah,
and it worked.
exactly.
All right, last question for this segment. What product would you be the ideal pitchman for?
Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa?
Yeah. So whereas I don't understand people and their bit about barbecue, or I am an expert, a connoisseur on chips and salsa.
All right, let me ask you this.
Okay.
I don't like a thin chip that doesn't have a lot of tensile strength.
Okay.
It bothers me.
Okay.
Because when you get into like salsa or queso or whatever, if I dip just by holding it, it falls off.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like a medium to firm chip.
Okay. I'm a little hypnotized by the word tensile. So I'm going to need a second if someone could look that up for me. So to me, the two premier chips.
Okay.
Wait, am I allowed to say brand names?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
look, and why not get a sponsorship?
Sure, yeah. So if anyone from El Milagro is listening, the El Milagro chip comes in a clear bag.
Okay.
You can't open it. It's just a mess to open. And then the Julio's tortilla chip.
Julio's tortilla chip.
Yes.
Yes, I like Julio's.
Yes. Those are the two premier chips.
Yeah.
So I'll eat tortilla chips breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know what it is, if it's just the starchy, crunchy. So I am the ideal pitch man for chips and salsa, but largely chips. What about you?
Oh, me?
Glasses?
No, probably not. Although I did get these from Warby Parker, I think. So there you go. So
that's a good brand.
Yeah, absolutely. So Warby Parker, please.
There we go.
Please sponsor us. No, this is gonna sound weird. I don't mean it to sound gross, but bidets and Japanese toilets.
Okay.
I'm like it's a hill I'm ready to die on that we have been denied far too long.
Okay. This is not a conversation I thought I'd have when I woke up today. I'm aware of the bidet.
There's one in there, by the way, in the bathroom.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
I almost pulled that to flush it Monday because I didn't know what it was. That is good to know.
Yes.
Okay, and it just washes up.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, here's the deal.
Again, not a conversation I thought we were going to have today.
Chris, if you walked outside right now, you know what? I'll give you a better example, maybe more. You've seen Back to the Future, correct?
I'm a connoisseur of that as well.
Okay. If you were Biff in that movie,
okay,
and your car hit the manure truck and it dumped all over you, and then I came to you and said, here is a thin piece of paper. Clean yourself up.
Okay.
You would be understandably indignant to me about the situation you find yourself in. So I ask you, why is that different for any other part of your body?
I mean, you can have multiple layers when you're wiping your behind.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you got me thinking about this.
I'm telling you, look, if you are particularly like Tushy Bidet, I'm calling for you. I would be a fantastic sponsor for you. Or if you're a Japanese toilet company, those things are quite expensive.
Okay.
But in the lounge on my way to Hawaii last year, I got to use one, and it was like, honestly, I looked it up on my, like, walking out of the bathroom, like looked it up on my phone to see how much it was.
Put it on the registry.
But it was like $12,000. I was like, well, no.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. So, but yes.
This is good to know.
It is something we need to do in America.
Okay, because I have a 3.5-year-old. Never had any issues changing diapers. Never thought that was gross. But now my little boy he's potty trained, but he's still learning. So I have to go wipe his rear end. And I don't love that. Yeah. So maybe the bidet is the answer.
Just telling you right now. For Tushy, great deals all the time. Between like $75, $100. Great thing you can get.
Okay.
So
I'm glad that my broadcasting career, this is on film. I'll always be able to look back and see the peak of my broadcasting career, which was this conversation.
Again, if I can be the guy who turns the tide in America for this, where they're just everywhere.
The godfather of the bidet.
Yeah, I would love to be the pitchman who convinces everybody that this is where to go.
Okay.
Like, that's what you need to do.
Okay.
So people are weirded out by it, but I don't care. It's important. I think going forward.
No, I'm in. I'm really glad I didn't accidentally use it when I was standing at the urinal yesterday.
Hit you right in the face.
Yeah.
It would hit you right in the face.
Dodged a bullet there.
All right.